All right, so guys, I know when you see this table full of food, you know it's about to go down. And yes, today it's about to go down because there are foods sitting in our kitchens right now. Foods that we are giving to our babies with love that are quietly harming them. Not because we are careless, but because, no, I won't say nobody ever told us the truth. Yes, some of you have known the truth for a long time, but you're still feeding your babies this. So today, please, let's remove the packaging from these items, remove the marketing strategies, remove the assumptions, and talk honestly about what our children should never be eating, especially those ones under 3, okay? So if you knew what some of these everyday foods are doing to your child's brain, their teeth, their immunity, even their future health, you would never buy some of these foods again. But the scary part is this: most of the foods that we're about to talk about, they look very harmless. I mean, look at this hot dog. It looks yummy. The sausages here looks very yummy. I don't even know which one is a smoky. All these ones look like sausages, but the sausages and the smokies, they look very yummy. The biscuits right there, the drinks here, all of these things, they look kid-friendly. Yeah, they look very safe. And yet, they are some of the most dangerous foods for our children. Let's talk about it, okay? Before you feed your child one more bite of this, please listen. Some of the most common foods in African households, the noodles. Look at these noodles. Don't worry, I brought the sauce, the ones that we add to the noodles. Guys, I was addicted to these things. Nowadays, I can't even eat them. I'm not saying I'm special, but I will tell you why you should not. Anyway, the noodles, the sausages, the flavored yogurts, the soda, the crepes, the biscuits are doing more harm than you think. Let's talk about what they should be telling you, what you've known for a while or what you might not even have heard about, okay? Let's start with noodles. These ones are very cheap. They're very fast and easy to cook. Every home has them. But for a child, they come with more problems than most parents realize, okay? First, the salt. Most instant noodles contain, pay key attention to these numbers that I'm about to give you, the figures. They contain 800 mg to 1,500 mg of sodium per packet. Scholar, how many packets are these? This is a packet. These are 2 packets, so now double the figures. And here's the problem. According to the World Health Organization, a child between 1 and 3 years should only take about 2 grams of salt a day, which is roughly 800 mg of sodium. That means 1 packet of noodles alone can give your child or a toddler their entire day's salt. Sometimes even double, because sometimes you guys are even feeding them 2 packets. Mommy, I want needles. So you go give them a packet in the morning, give them a packet in the evening, but you are causing harm to these children because their kidneys are still immature. So that overload is not just unhealthy, it is very dangerous. Secondly, there is almost no nutrition in these things here. Noodles are basically refined white flour, palm oil and salt. They have almost 0 iron, 0 fiber, very low protein, and don't support the brain development or bone growth or even immunity. So your child will get very full because, you know, these things, as I told you, are very addictive even for adults. But your child, adults, we can deal sometimes. You know, our bones are kidogo a bit healthy. But I'm not saying also adults eat this. If you watched our video last time, you will realize why you should not consume food with 0 nutrient. And as I say, the purpose of these videos is not to shame anyone, but to create awareness, because myself too, I have been an addict of such things. All right? So when you give this to your child, they become very full. But this is something that builds nothing in them. All right? Thirdly, the fat content. Did you know that most noodles are pre-fried before packaging? Did you know that? A single serving can have 14 to 15 grams of fat, and about 6 to 7 grams of that is saturated fat. For a toddler, that is already a huge portion of their daily recommended fat intake. So you are feeding them a food that is salty and oily in one hit, all right? Fourthly, the seasoning packets. Hey, I have my seasoning here. Don't worry, I had to remove it from the packet, seeing a lawyer. But this seasoning here, This is where things get tricky. The flavor sachets often contain preservatives, artificial flavor enhancers, high sodium content, and in some global recalls, even banned substances used during processing. Yes, noodles have been recalled from several countries, especially in several Asian and European markets. Between 2022 and 2024, instant noodle brands were recalled because their seasonings, this seasoning here, contained ethylene oxide, a chemical not permitted in food in many countries. This doesn't mean every packet is unsafe. Me, I'm not here to tell you all the noodles are unsafe. You make that decision. But also, the findings in these seasons show how risky and inconsistent quality control can be. And also, lastly, if you are feeding this to your child, have you considered the taste training? World Health Organization is very clear on this. Children under 2 years should have no added salt and no added sugar. Instant noodles are the exact opposite of that guideline. Giving them regularly, giving these things regularly to your children teaches them to crave salty, fatty, processed food, and that habit follows them for life. And you wonder why your children, the ones who are maybe 7 or 8 or 10, are now adding salt to everything that they are eating, because this is what you trained them. Taste-wise, this is what they were trained with, all right? So when you look at everything together, especially in these noodles, the high salt, the lack of nutrients, the oils, the additives, the recalls, noodles are simply not a safe or healthy food for children, even if they seem harmless, all right? Especially children under 3, even if they seem harmless. Parents, don't give noodles because you don't care. I know you care. I know you care when you give these noodles to your children. You give them because, of course, these packets are cheap and kids love them. But now that you have the information, you know exactly why this is one of the foods toddlers should avoid completely. Throw these things away, all right? If you have them, and you know they pack them so nicely, offer. They tell you buy 6 for the price of 5. These things are very cheap and easy. I survived on these things myself for a long, long time. So I know how addictive they can be. But me, I'm a grown-up. Now imagine feeding these things to your child. Anyways, let's please talk about hot dogs. Look at these hot dogs. Yummy. Muga is like, Lynn, Maliza bana. But look at these hot dogs, guys, all right? These hot dogs, of course, we have the hot dogs, the sausages for hot dogs, if that makes sense. And then you come here, the beef Viennas, I'm being told. Then you come here, you have your sausages. I don't know if there's a smoky here, guys, or what scholar got, but the intention was to have sausages and smokies. These look like sausages all together. But these foods are almost in every household, especially middle-class people. You give these things to your children and they love these things. And unfortunately, these things are the most dangerous for toddlers also, especially under 3. First, let's address the salt again. We've spoken about salt in noodles, but I'm going to repeat again. Most sausages and smokies contain 600 mgs to 1,500 mgs of sodium per piece. Even them, they don't want to be here. They are like, how dare you speak about us? Like, anyways, for context, a child aged 1 to 3 years should only have around what? I want to make sure we all understand from the noodles we spoke about. Should have around 800 mgs of sodium per entire day. So, one sausage can give them a full day's salt, sometimes double, before they even eat anything else. And then, there is you who is feeding your child 3 of this in the morning. Imagine you've given them salt for 3 days in one serving. That kind of salt, the way you are loading them with this salt, puts direct pressure on their tiny kidneys, their heart, and their blood pressure. All right? And we've not even addressed the nitrates and nitrites in these particular sausages. These are chemicals used to keep sausages looking fresh and red. I mean, look at this. Look at how fresh this looks like. You think it's like this by nature. This thing has just been removed from the factory today and it still stays this red and fresh. Those ones are added to prevent bacteria from growing. Alrighty? But here's the truth. When nitrates and nitrites mix with protein at high heat, they can form compounds called nitrosamines, which the World Health Organization classifies as carcinogenic. And remember, children are far more sensitive to chemical exposure than adults. Where can adults, if you're an adult, take 10 of these, I don't care. You are grown up, alrighty? But for children, guys, look at what we're exposing them to. And then you go to the fat content. One single sausage here can carry anywhere from 10 grams to 20 grams of fat, with about 4 to 8 grams of that being saturated fat. A toddler's recommended limit for saturated fat in a day is about 8 to 10 grams total. So one sausage alone can wipe out the entire limit. And this influences early cholesterol levels. It creates early taste addiction and shapes lifelong preferences for fatty foods. That is why you can't give them boiled soup. They'll be like, Mommy, this doesn't taste nice. Yeah, it is your fault. You did that to them. But let's move on. The protein. The protein quality in these sausages. Sausages are not high quality protein. I know when you are eating this, you are like, my God, this is my protein for the day. They are usually 40 to 60% meat scraps mixed with starch, fillers, skin, flavor enhancers, and preservatives. Actually, someone told us the other day, and it really shocked me. They were like, Lynn, do you know those sausages you guys eat are 90% flour? I'm like, wait a minute. So where is the meat? Where is the meat? These ones, at least we are being told they have something. They are meaty. And guys, we don't even know whether they have any meat inside. But you're giving this to your children, thinking that you're giving them protein, and they feel full, but they are full of low-value calories, not nutrients that build their brain, blood, or immunity. Fifth, and this is the most important, choking, okay? I know you guys don't pay, or maybe some people don't take choking seriously. But guys, these hot dogs that you see here, the Viennas, they are the #1 cause of food-related choking deaths in children. Because of their shape and texture, they can block a toddler's airway perfectly. Even when cut, the skin can be rubbery and difficult for small children to chew. All right? And then, maybe lastly, on these sausages and hot dogs and smokies, they fall under what? Processed meats. And according to the World Health Organization, processed meats are classified as a group 1 carcinogen, the same category as tobacco smoke. This does not mean one sausage will harm your child today, but it means the science is very clear. Regular consumption increases long-term health risks. All right? So when you look at the whole picture, the salt, the chemicals, the fat, the low-quality fillers, and the choking risk, it becomes very clear. This is not toddlers' food. I know it's convenient, it's tasty, it is everywhere, but it's simply not made for young bodies that are still growing and still fragile. Are we together? All right. Let's move to another favorite part that I know you're watching this and it's in your house, or you're considering going to get some in your supermarket. Flavored yogurts. Look at that. This is my strawberry. All right. I have vanilla somewhere here. Yes. Hold on. I told you I had to remove the packaging, guys. Legal fees are expensive, but that's my vanilla right there. And then, which other one do I have? No, I think this is mango. This is vanilla. This is mango. Yeah, I brought a couple so that we can talk about them, right? Before I put them here, you guys should have seen the packaging. They are packed in very kid-friendly tins or cups or plastic, whatever. And they look very kid-friendly. And most parents, actually, I know, sometimes I love explaining things that we think we might know. It's because also some of these things shock me. When you are buying these flavored yogurts, you think it's yogurt, all right? You think it must be healthy. That is where I'm feeding my child yogurt. But for a child under 3, flavored yogurt is actually one of the sneakiest sources of sugar in the home, all right? And here's the truth. First, the sugar. A small cup of flavored yogurt can contain 10 to 20 grams of added sugar. That is the same as giving your toddler 3 to 5 teaspoons of sugar in one sitting. Let me show you how that looks like. And this is a tiny cup of yogurt. This is what you're feeding your child actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, that is what you just fed your child. And now listen to this. According to the World Health Organization, children under 2 years should have zero what? Zero added sugar, none. Not even a teaspoon, not even this small. They should not. So when you have your child eating 1 cup of flavored yogurt, they can instantly exceed the daily limit, because for them, the limit is what? The limit is 0. And the problem is not just sugar. It's what sugar does to a toddler's developing brain and body. All right? Sugar at that age increases the risk of childhood obesity. It will spike blood sugar. It will promote early dental decay, and it will interfere with appetite and feeding patterns. It will also rewire the brain to prefer sweet foods for life. And please remember, their taste buds are developing right now. So when you give a flavored yogurt to your child daily, you are literally teaching the child's tongue that everything must be sweet for it to be enjoyable. All right? Then, this is the other part. Most of these flavored yogurts are desserts, all right? Desserts, not yogurt. When you look closely at the ingredients, if you have a flavored yogurt right now, maybe for your child, I need you to go and look at the ingredients. You will see what? Added sugar, fruit syrups, colorings, artificial flavors, stabilizers, and thickeners to make them look creamy. There is a reason this looks creamy. All right? There is a reason it has this color. And there is a reason these two, I'm sorry to my OCD people, I know you hate it when someone does this, but I only have this spoon. You see, there's a reason this has color. This is not strawberry. This is not strawberry, all right? Very few of these flavored yogurts actually contain probiotics and nutrients that real plain yogurt naturally has. I have a plain yogurt here. Even when you go and check the ingredients of a plain yogurt, they are very different. This and this, they are very different. So the child is not eating yogurt. Please don't think your child is eating yogurt. They are eating a sweetened, flavored pudding, pretending to be yogurt. All right? And then let's take a look at something that we can easily ignore. The portions. Because portions are very deceiving. The packaging is very small, if you notice. By the way, you will realize if you're going to get your favorite yogurts, you'll find there's a big piece here and then a small appealing piece, all right? That cup is tiny, so parents will automatically assume it is safe. But even that small 100 grams cup can deliver as much sugar as soda, all right? All right? And then, let's talk about something we've already spoken about, tooth decay. Sugar sticks to the teeth, especially in a thick dairy product. And because toddlers will not be there brushing their teeth regularly or perfectly, flavored yogurt becomes a high-risk food for early cavities, all right? And then, of course, so it's going to replace real food. When a toddler fills up on sweet yogurt, they will lose appetite for things like eggs, real fruits, vegetables, porridge, or nutritious things, you know. So your child is full, but they are full on something that does not build their brain or their body. And then, of course, marketing is going to lie to you parents. Many flavored yogurts are marketed with words like kids, school snack, healthy, made with real fruit, high calcium, but the same products carry more sugar than ice cream itself. And manufacturers know parents won't check the label. So they hide sweetness behind words like fruit puree, natural flavor, or low fat. What is low fat? Low fat but high sugar. And for a toddler, sugar is the real problem here. So no matter how much it's packaged, no matter how appealing it looks, please just know all those words narrow down to one thing, sugar. All right? So if you're watching this and you're a parent and you're wondering, so Lynn, what should I do? Okay, I think you can try the plain unsweetened yogurt. That is perfectly fine. If you want flavor, and we don't have ripe bananas here, but I see some people mashing the bananas, you know. Mash that banana, feed that to your children. Blend, you know, the strawberries, put it inside the natural yogurt. Or just just mash some fruits, you know, depending on their taste, the purpose, anything, just mash. Maybe add it or even serve it plain, all right? Add to the yogurt or just mash the bananas and just serve them plain. Please, let the child learn natural flavors, not artificial sweetness, okay? Let's move on smooth, because this is the truth. Flavored yogurt is not the healthy snack we think it is. It is sugar. This is pure sugar. And for a child under 3, that sugar will hit harder. And it will hit them faster and it will stay longer. All right? Now, let's talk about something familiar that you are seeing on the table. I don't know if you guys know what this is, but these colors are very familiar. Sodas. All right? We love our sodas from different places, but sodas. I know these soft drinks here look very innocent, but soda is one of the worst things a toddler can drink. And I'm not saying this, Ati, because this is my opinion. I'm saying this because the science is extremely clear. And here's the truth, all right? First, the sugar. A single 330 ml bottle of soda contains around 35 to 40 grams of sugar. Let me show you what 35 to 40 grams of sugar looks like. Yes, let me show you. They're telling me I'll finish their sugar. So let me show you how that looks like, guys. Okay, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right? It's 8 to 9, 10. 8 to 10 teaspoons of sugar in one drink. You know, guys, when I go and I research these things and I know I've done all these things, I'm like, wait. But don't worry, it's the year we learn and relearn and forgive ourselves. But see, we've counted up to 10 teaspoons of sugar. Now compare that to the World Health Organization guideline. If you're feeding this to your child under 2, remember, the World Health Organization says your child should have 0 added sugar. 0. Not 1 teaspoon, not 2, 0. Alrighty? So, when you have your toddler, they are drinking soda. They are drinking 10 times more sugar than their safe limit in one moment. And because they are tiny, that sugar rush hits them harder than it will hit an adult. It spikes their blood sugar, crashes their energy, and creates sugar addiction patterns that can last a lifetime, all right? And then let's address the caffeine in sodas. Yes, most dark sodas, they contain caffeine. Caffeine affects a toddler's heart rate, their sleep, their behavior, their nervous system, and their appetite, right? A toddler's brain is developing at the fastest rate it ever will. And then caffeine comes and disrupts that. Third, you have acid. Sodas contain phosphoric acid and carbonic acid. These acids are going to strip calcium from teeth and weaken developing bones, all right? Toddlers already have fragile teeth. They can't afford acidic drinks that erode enamel within minutes, please. That is why dentists call soda liquid cavity, because it attacks the teeth instantly, all right? And then, of course, it's going to replace real food. When your child is drinking soda, they immediately lose appetite for water or even breast milk or even milk. They lose appetite for real food or fruits, all right? They are not going to take those nutrient-dense meals. Sodas will fill the stomach, but with empty calories that do nothing for their growth, okay? And then you have to take a look at the long-term risk. Early exposure to soda has been consistently linked to childhood obesity, early diabetes, fatty liver disease, heart issues, dental decay, and behavior challenges, all right? And remember, toddlers are not small adults. Their organs, teeth, brain, and metabolism are still developing, which means the damage happens faster and stays longer. And then you have the preservatives and dyes. These sodas contain artificial colors, sodium benzoate, caramel color, which can contain contaminants, all right? Phosphoric acid, high fructose corn syrup in some regions, all right? A toddler's liver is not designed to handle that chemical load. And then the usual taste trading. These things are extremely sweet. If a child under 3 develops a taste for soda, water will always taste very boring, okay? Their brain gets used to the sweetness, and soon everything must taste sugary to be acceptable. This is how food addiction starts. This is how lifelong cravings begin, all right? And then you will ask, Lynn, so what does this mean for parents? A child under 3 has no biological reason to drink soda, none, okay? It will not hydrate them. It will not nourish them. It doesn't add any vitamin, any fiber, any mineral, nothing. It only gives sugar, acid, chemicals, and long-term harm. And remember, guys, we said we are not sharing this to judge anyone. I have given my nephew and my nieces sodas, all right? Kwanza Courtney, I must apologize. I've given her sodas and sausages and everything else. Because again, see, we grew up seeing soda as a treat. It's a treat. So once in a while, she'll be like, Auntie, I want sausages. Auntie, I want soda. Auntie, I want to go to the mall. Auntie, I want ice cream. Yeah, that is me. And I know that is you too. Collective responsibility. But now, because we know better, we must do better. Because a toddler's body is too new, too delicate, and too precious for something as harsh as soda, right? Now, I want to combine 2 snacks or 3 that almost every household has. I'm not going to say almost, but I know even if we don't have them, maybe we've come across them, but this is not privilege, me speaking. I'm just saying, I know we've definitely come across this. So, biscuits and cookies. Let me get that. Yeah, I know you're looking at those biscuits and cookies sitting there in your kitchen and you're like, what is this? Anyways, biscuits and cookies, all right? Look at how beautiful these things look. You put them in kids' parties, their birthdays, innocently. And these are snacks we will give to our children without thinking twice, because look at this one, very small, They're also very quick to just get. They're easy to access. And then some of them are actually cheap. And babies love these things. But now, for a toddler under 3, Please remember, these things come with real problems. And I know we've spoken about some of these problems, but I'm going to repeat. Let's take a look at these crisps. Yeah, these are crisps here, all right? Or potato chips. And the biggest issue in this is salt, again. A small 25 to 30 grams packet of crisps can contain 150 to 300 mgs of sodium. And then you'll have some bigger packets that contain 500 mgs or more. Please remember, I'll keep quoting the World Health Organization. A child aged 1 to 3 only needs about 800 mgs of sodium per entire day. So when you're giving them this small packet of crisps, you are probably giving them half or full their day's salt. All right? Now combine that with all other salty foods they eat in the day. You are giving them crisps, then you'll feed them noodles, then they will come for sausages, then they will do the soda, then they will do everything in this table in the same day. So your child crossed the daily limit a long time ago. And then the fat. These crisps are deep fried in oils that are high in unhealthy fats. Many small packets contain 8 to 12 grams of fat with 1 to 3 grams of saturated fat. And once again, for a toddler, that is a lot. And because toddlers are still forming their taste preferences, feeding crisps regularly, I'll keep repeating, teaches them to crave salty, oily, crunchy food, the exact type of food linked to obesity and heart disease later in life. Now, moving forward to biscuits and cookies, the sweet side of the same problem, right? A single biscuit can contain 2 to 4 grams of sugar, and a toddler can easily eat 3 or 4, even 10 at once. That means, once again, they are quickly getting 8 to 12 grams of sugar. Basically, again, 3 to 4 tablespoons of sugar in one sitting. And remember, World Health says children under 2 should have 0 sugar. I will not repeat this further. These things are made almost entirely out of sugar. And then they have the refined flour and fat. Exactly the 3 things a toddler's body does not need at this point. And then biscuits are also they also spike blood sugar, which makes toddlers hyper for a moment. And then they'll be cranky, and then they'll be hungry again shortly after, and then you will feed them. This here is the devil. You see, because now biscuits will go and melt in the mouths, parents think they are harmless. But these are ultra-processed foods with added sugar, artificial flavors, colors, preservatives, hydrogenated oils, and 0 fiber. They'll fill the stomach but offer nothing to the child. No vitamins, no minerals, no real nutrition. And then now you go and combine all these things together. And this is what you will get. A toddler who is eating too much salt, too much sugar, too much fat. Our problem today is sugar, fat, salt, and things that have no nutrients, and then they will develop an early craving for junk food. This is how children end up rejecting real food like vegetables, or eggs or even fruits, because junk food overstimulates their taste buds. And we are not saying this to shame anyone. I already gave that disclaimer. I myself too, I've done these things. I know what these things are, I'm not saying this to shame anyone, but please, a toddler's body is still developing. The kidneys, the brain, the liver, the teeth, everything is still new. So something that looks harmless to an adult can actually be harmful to a child under 3, okay? Now, let's take a look at some of the safe traditional options for our children, especially under 3, all right? Okay. Here, I came back with things that we've seen on this table. Millet, all right? The sorghum, the wimbies, okay? This porridge, and it's safe, I think, to drink from 6 months, all right? When made thick enough, all right? You just make it thick enough with no added sugar. And this is rich in iron, all right? And then you can also add in it, I've seen some people add omena, which is healthy. Some people even add peanut, all right? I know a lot of you are familiar with the traditional ways that children were fed, or there are still people who are feeding their children the same way our parents or our ancestors fed our parents. I don't know why, by the way, I don't know why when we grow up or when we grow old, we tend to forget the traditional way of doing things. But I know some of you remember the sorghums, the millets, you know, the wimbi. And I know there are communities that will even add things like nuts or even omenas to that porridge to make it rich in protein as well. And also make sure that it has dense nutrients for your child, all right? And I know, guys, some of you are familiar with the traditional way we were fed. You've seen our parents do things. I think if you take a look at the sorghum, the millet, the wimbi, you know, this is a porridge that you can make. It's safe for a child who is 6 months onwards, right? And you would see them making the porridge, adding things like omena. They would also add nuts, and this makes the porridge nutrient dense for your child, right? And you can easily feed that to your child, you know, 6 to 24 months, you can be able to feed that to your child, and that is healthy. And I know there are so many healthy options, and you guys can also add that on the comment section. Or another thing, the mashed food that we used to eat. They would mash a banana, add maybe a bit of spinach, right? And they would mash that and also be able to, I know a lot of you still do that. You are mashing bananas and spinach or healthy vegetables. You are mashing the pumpkins. You are mashing that, and you're making sure there's no added sugar, no added salt, and you're feeding that to your child. You're adding a bit of peanut here and there, and you're also feeding that to your child, which is safe for a 6 month child if you are soft mashing it, okay? So learn maybe to do these things. There are so many traditional options, and I think we'll come back with that on our next episode. And this pattern of mashing or just adding nutrients, it also aligns with the World Health Organization recommendations for it's okay for you to feed that to your child, especially 6 months to 24 months. And then we have the fermented milk, okay, or yogurt. That is also easy for you to be able to feed your child natural, all right? It is plain, it is unsweetened, and it is safe. Safe after 6 months, though. Also, as part of complementary foods, please do not use cow's milk, okay, as a drink before 12 months. No, don't do that. I know you know why. You should not use that, okay? Choose plain, full fat milk, no added sugar. And then, of course, we have the usual, the beans, the lentils, you know, the legumes. You can also boil and mash that, and they're also safe from 6 months, all right? When well cooked and mashed, all right, this is an excellent protein and fiber for your child. So you might also want to try that by introducing new foods to your child at a time. But I'm also really interested in knowing what other traditional options are you using to feed your child that are safe, all right? Anyways, let's talk about something powerful, not the food itself, but the way these foods are sold to us. We are back to these junks that we should not be giving our children, because the truth is many of these foods we are here, even myself warning parents about, are not popular by accident, all right? They were designed to be irresistible to your child. Take a look at the colors. The colors in these products are very bright, especially the packaging. They are very bright, they are playful, and they are cartoon coded, all right? This is a form of marketing, because children under 7 are naturally attracted to 3 categories of color. And this is why colors are in every of these products. I'm looking at these products there, and I can see almost all of them have these colors: red, yellow, bright blue, all right? And there's also pink and baby pastels colors. Marketers know this. So what do? They are going to dress unhealthy foods like these strawberry yogurts here, you know, the cookies, the cereals, the juices, all right, the biscuits. They are going to dress them in the exact colors that trigger a child's attention. Even if the product is unhealthy, the packaging will scream, fun, this is safe for kids, you know, sweet, kid-friendly, etc., etc. These colors visually override logic and make parents think, this is for children, it must be safe. Please remember, this is not random. This is neuroscience, okay? This is a conditioning. And then look at some of the characters they drew. I know there's a famous kid snack that has even toys somewhere, all right? But look at those characters inside that. You know, the cartoons, the baby animals, you know. Marketers know parents shop with their children sometimes. And children influence purchases simply by pointing and demanding, I want this, mommy, I want this. So the marketers will add cartoon, you know, they will add the lions, the baby giraffe, the superheroes, the princesses. They will add the teddy bears, the blue princess, you know. They will even add the dancing fruits, you know, and these characters activate trust in both the child and the parent. Guys, before we go to the strategic it's shelf placement, Muga made sure he came through with these things from some of the toys. Look at these things inside toys. Look at this. Like, I want to show from a distance because I'm seeing a lawyer. But see these things inside. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Muga, you just want trouble. Hey, he even brought me something here. Why? This is supposed to be a snack. Okay, they didn't see it fit to put anything black here. Looks so cute. But guys, have you noticed the strategic shelf placement in supermarkets or in shops? Because this is one of the biggest tricks marketers used. Unhealthy kid snacks are placed where? Are they placed up there in the supermarket? Are they placed even outside the supermarket? Where are they placed? At toddler eye level. Bottom shelves, okay? Not adult eye level, bottom shelf. All right? So they do this because they know children will see it first, grab it, and ask for it. If your child has not refused to get out of the supermarket because they are holding on a snack, can you imagine if that snack was up there, how would they have reached it? But even the marketers know where to place. And even it's not just the bottom shelves, the checkout. Guys, look at the checkout in the supermarket. All this trash is right there. And then you have your child. Let me tell you, there is a time it's my best friend's son. He refused to get out of somewhere because we were supposed to get him something. And he cried. And we were broke. And we just looked at Leo like, oh my God, what is this drama? And the shame. And you know, because you have a parent here who doesn't want to deal with the shame, or this parent is tired or stressed, or this parent is in a hurry. And then you have a child winning, Mommy, I want this, Mommy, I want this. I want Mommy, I want that. And then they cry. And then everyone is looking at you, Bana. That thing is 160. So you just buy it for your child. So you are going to say a quick yes. A quick yes. And they are going to place these things in shelves that have additional baby products like baby formulas, so that you continue, you even pick what you did not go to get. Guys, come on. When they do this to parents because they know the parent is in baby mode. And you know, they are just like, okay, let me just get this for the child. Parents love to care and feed their children. This is all they are thinking about. Okay, utanisumbua, I'll get it for you. Okay, I love you, let me get this. Or even parents who overcompensate, they'll get everything for their children. Anything that says kids or baby or need, they will go and take that. All right? So this is a marketing strategy. And that parents automatically will associate with these snacks, you know. Some of these snacks, breakfast items or daily staples or safe for kids, you know. Guys, brands will pay supermarkets to strategically put those products there. They know what they are doing. Those spaces are fought for. All right? And now go to the words on the packaging. The way they health wash this whole thing. Unhealthy foods use words that sound very healthy, even when they are not. All right? You will see, as we said, made with real fruit. Source of calcium. Kwanza calcium. Hey, when a parent sees source of calcium, they won't even think twice. And then no artificial colors. They'll say this snack is kids' choice, enriched with vitamins, high energy, school snack, growing up formula, made with whole grains. Hey, even if the whole grain is 0.005%, they will put whole grain there. Please understand that this is health washing. And these manipulating languages are there to make the parents feel safe, but they do not know they are giving harmful products to their toddler. Every word is chosen to create trust without changing the unhealthy recipe inside. Okay? And then, as we said, the small pack illusion. Kwanza, if you are buying these to small packs because you think this is safe, please understand that manufacturers intentionally will make toddler-oriented packs, very small. They'll do the tiny yogurt cups, the mini juice boxes. Kwanza, the mini juice. We should have spoken about the mini juice packs. Have you seen those 2 mini juice packs for the kids? And the straw right there. So a kid just gets that, puts in the straw, and then, and in 1 minute, it's, mommy, I want another one. I want another one. That is by design. Why? Why do you think they come in these small sizes? Because small looks safe. And parents will assume it's just a small bite, it won't harm my child. But again, as we said, that little bit can hold how many teaspoons of sugar? 3. Half a day's salt, chemical preservatives, artificial flavors, zero nutrition. All right? The small size is not for safety. It is for psychology. They are playing with your psychology. All right? And then they will imitate healthy foods. Some unhealthy foods are intentionally designed to look like healthy foods. Example, flavored yogurts, they are packaged like real yogurt. You have biscuits that are shaped like fruits or animals. Even look at this cookie. Look at how it is shaped to look like something real. And then you have even fruit juice drinks that are designed like pure juices. And then you will also buy cereals, and they'll tell you these cereals have vitamins, and they add that small amount of vitamin to distract you from the sugar. All right? So you can see the mind game that is happening here. Everything is imitating real things so that you as a parent don't question them. And this is on us, all right? Don't let them use words like kids to bypass the scrutiny. Marketers know parents trust products that are labeled kids yogurt, kids juice, kids snacks, kids. Please, there is no special regulation for kids foods in most African countries. Remember that. Nothing forces these products to be safer or healthier. If hair is not healthy, the synthetics, what makes you think that these products are going to be safe for your kids? The word kids is just a marketing label, not a safety standard. Are we together? And then there's the milk association trick. Anything white, creamy, or dairy-like automatically feels healthy. Marketers exploit this by making yogurt-looking packaging, milkshake-style bottles, cartoon cows, calcium badges. They do all this. Even when the product is mostly sugar, starch, gums, flavorings, additives, when there is zero milk in it. And that milk image will create an instant trust to a parent. And then there's always the emotional trigger. This whole, I want to be a good mother to my child, You'll have ads that are saying, a good mother buys yogurt for their child, a caring mother buys cereals, a modern mother gives juice boxes to their children, a responsible mother gives snacks, fortified with vitamins to their children. Hey, this plays on guilt. and makes parents feel obligated to buy. Don't buy, you are a good mother. Give them mashed potato, no, mashed bananas and pumpkins and pawpaws and avocados. Give them that. Eh? Because there's also another thing that we people in Africa, we must understand. We have these products that are also targeting low-income families, all right? In many African communities, fortified products, instant foods, kids' snacks, they are marketed as modern, smart, and better than what? Traditional foods. We spoke about that on our last episode. Brands deliberately position these foods as more advanced, more sophisticated, a sign that you love your child enough to give them the best. You're giving them poison. And this is how generations continue to shift away. Us guys, I'm a victim. This is how we continue to shift away from things like sorghum, millet, our plain yogurts, and we shift towards processed snacks. And let's talk about what is really happening to our children's health and how the foods we've just spoken about, the noodles, sausages and smokies, flavored yogurt, soda, crepes, biscuits, are quietly driving an increase in diseases we did not see in past generations. Because when you step back and look at the bigger picture, you start to see a pattern. And I know a lot of you are observing this pattern. This pattern is rooted in one thing. Ultra-processed foods are replacing real food, okay? Children today are eating more salt, more sugar, more chemicals, and fewer nutrients than any generation before them. And their small bodies, as we said, cannot handle it. Let's start with something we are seeing everywhere now, childhood obesity. It didn't used to be common to see a 3-year-old struggling with weight. What are you talking about? You have an overweight 3-year-old. But now it's happening more and more. And a huge part of it comes from the foods we've talked about. All right? It comes from these foods that we've spoken about. The biscuits, These things. The hot dogs. All these things that carry 8 to 10 teaspoons of sugar in them. That is where it's coming from. Because a toddler's body cannot even manage these things. Even these noodles that look harmless. We've said they will load your child with calories and not give them any nutrients. All right? These foods don't just add weight. They train the body to store fat early, and that sets the stage for a lifetime of struggling with health. And then there's early diabetes. Something we used to think only affected older adults. Now, doctors are seeing signs of insulin resistance and prediabetes in children as young as 5 or 6. As young as 6. What are we talking about? And the biggest culprits are sugary drinks and snacks. Remember, a toddler's pancreas is tiny. When they drink soda, essentially this liquid soda, or eat sugar, heavy yogurts and biscuits every day, the pancreas is forced to keep producing insulin over and over again. That constant pressure is how early diabetes begins. And while we're on sugar, we spoke about the teeth. Dentists worldwide are reporting rising cases of early childhood cavities. Children losing teeth at 2 or 3 years old. What are we talking about? This is not genetics. This is not the one we know of. This is because of the sticky, sugary foods. The my yogurts, the my biscuit, the my crepes. All these things. All right? All these things. That is what is happening to our children. Please, let's acknowledge this right now. Because the harm is not just going to be visible on the outside. A lot of these foods are also linked to iron deficiency, one of the most common nutritional issues in African children today. And it's not always because parents don't feed their children well. Sometimes it's because the wrong foods are replacing the right ones. These noodles have no iron, biscuits have no iron, soda disrupts mineral absorption, crepes offer no nutrients at all. And when these foods fill the stomach, a child has no space left for their beans, the healthy stuff, the porridge, the pai. No. The result is a generation of children who look okay on the outside, but are struggling with fatigue, low immunity, delayed speech, and slow brain development. And then comes something most parents never imagine: high blood pressure in children. In who? In children. Yeah, it's happening. Salt-heavy foods like the sausages, the smokies, the crepes, these noodles are a major reason. These foods, as we said, can contain half or all of a toddler's entire daily salt allowance in one serving. That salt stresses their tiny kidneys and raises their blood pressure far earlier than we ever thought possible. And speaking of internal organs, there is a silent condition rising in children called fatty liver disease. Doctors used to only diagnose it in adults who drank or ate very poorly. Today, they are finding it in children under 10. And the biggest driver is what? It's sugar. All right? The liver takes sugar and turns it into fat. Over time, that fat accumulates and damages the liver. A child doesn't need to be overweight to have a fatty liver. Even a slim child can develop it if their diet is high in sugar. All right? And we also need to talk about gut health. A child's gut is the center of the immunity. But when a toddler eats mostly processed foods packed with preservatives, colorings, nitrates, and artificial flavors, the gut lining becomes irritated. I actually think the reason I suffered or struggled with heartburn, even as a grown-up, it's because of how much I ate of these noodles. When you feed your gut that, the good bacteria will reduce and the bad bacteria will multiply. And the results? Frequent infections, stomach problems, allergies, constipation, diarrhea, and weakened immunity. These foods don't just satisfy hunger. They damage the gut ecosystem that protects a child from disease. And then there's behavior. Many parents will say, my child is too hyper. They can't sit still. They don't sleep well. What they don't connect is that sugar spikes from biscuits and yogurt, all right? The caffeine and sugars from soda and the artificial color in crepes and sweets, that sugar spike will affect the developing brain. And these ingredients create bursts of energy, then suddenly crashes, all right? Then your child is irritable, and then your child can't focus clearly. The child look like they have a behavior problem, but often it's just the chemicals and sugar acting on their system, all right? And finally, let's talk about the most immediate risk: choking. We said smokies, sausages, and some biscuits can block a toddler's airway perfectly. They are the #1 cause of food-related choking deaths in young children. These risks don't just show up slowly. They happen suddenly and without warning, all right? So when you look at all of this together, you start to understand why children today are facing diseases we didn't see so early before. It's not that parents don't love their children. It's that the modern food environment is filled with ultra-processed foods that were never designed for young bodies. And when these foods replace the traditional nutrient, the rich foods our grandparents relied on, the consequences show up in the clinic, in the classroom, in behavior, in immunity, and in long-term health, all right? And this is why today's video matters. Because once parents understand how these foods affect their children, they can start making small changes that are going to protect the children's future. At the end of the day, our children do not choose what they eat. We choose for them. Let us not blame it on the children. Oh, Alilia, so the child cried, I had to give them. No. The choice is on you. And the truth is, most of these foods entered our homes not because they are good, but because they are also cheap, easily accessible, and also we are trying the child pleasing, the overcompensating thing with the children. Or some of these products also aggressively marketed to us. But now that we know better, as Maya Angelou says, we do better, all right? Now that we know better, we do better. And I want you to remember one thing. Even if you forget everything, remember, a toddler's body is still building its brain, its immunity, its bones, its future. And every food we put on that tiny plate becomes part of who they become years from now. So, if this video has opened your eyes even a little, start with one change. Replace one snack, with something healthy. Remove one harmful food from the table. Reintroduce them to traditional meals. Just a little bit, Small changes today that are going to build strong children tomorrow. And that is what this conversation is all about today, protecting our children from the inside out. All right? None of these manufacturers care about you at all, at all, at all. They don't care. To them, it's how many sausages are we selling? How many flavored yogurts, quote unquote, are we selling? How many packs of these noodles are we selling? That is all they care about. And every time I see something packaged, I can't help but imagine the package even is more expensive than what is inside there. They will even invest more on the packaging than the quality of what they put inside to make sure that you buy, because at the end of the day, this is what they want you to buy. By the way, this can be 2 shillings, but the packaging is 3 shillings. But they'll make sure they invest on packaging because they need your eyes to see so that you can purchase, all right? So that is all. And I just want to say, I don't know if we've done a good job with today's video or not. Honestly, I don't know. But I hope you are looking at that soda now in a very weird way. You're looking at that soda and you're like, nah, this goes to the sink right now. Those hot dogs. We've not even spoken about you adding the tomato itself, the mayonnaise, the mustard. All those things, we've not spoken about them. But, as I said, we are not judging anyone. We're just trying to, I always say, at the end of the day, my intention with these videos is to create awareness because I'm also in a very, very, very disruptive learning period of my life. And I want to share everything that I learn with you so that we can all experience this awareness together. And I hope I do a good job with that. All right. So that's on that. Let me know what your thoughts are on today's conversation. Share your thoughts as well. What are you feeding your child that you deem healthy? Share that with parents on the comment section as well. And as we said, we are not shaming anyone here. This journey we must go through together by force, guys. We are going to learn these things by force, whether we like it or not, Because I realize what we think is known by so many people might not. I didn't know how bad these things were. Until I sat and I decided, no, let me look at this product actually. Yeah, so I'm not expecting all of us to know these details. We are just trying to learn together. That is why I say, even if you are going to comment, please put in consideration that not all of us knew these things. Everyone is on a journey. Everyone is on a learning and relearning journey. So thank you so much to Pennies of Iru. Throw those things, guys. I know it's not easy, but throw them. Tupa mbali. Stop blaming your child when they become hyper and you've given them a whole liter of soda. All right? You want to add something?
No. We adults take them.
Do you adults take them? Adults problems, adults decisions, go figure.
They can refer to our previous episode.
Guys, today I'm just going to cater to the children. I don't have time for the adults today. Adults, we need to learn and relearn so many things. So forgive me. Today, I don't have the energy for adults. But anyways, guys, jokes aside, even as an adult, why are you taking them? I know temptations are there for everyone. I'm even tempted to take something after this. Even me, myself, temptations are there, but you gotta tell yourself, oh my God, what are the nutrients here? What am I doing? It's a struggle. It's a struggle. I won't lie, it's a struggle. But as I said, today we are here for the babies and the babies and the babies, all right? So, throw these things. When you find them in toys, just know they've put this, but your child has consumed 10 teaspoons of sugar. That is the take home today. But let me know it on the comment section. I hope you've learned and relearned something. That's it for today. I gotta go, guys, but I just want to say thank you. Even as we go into our Christmas season, I know there's temptation to buy these things for your children. I know you can't stop immediately, but do it in moderation. Wakatie a sausage quarter. You just take a sausage, you cut into 4, you tell them, here, that's it for today. That's mean energy. I'm giving mean energy, guys. But anyways, that's it for today. How about I say that's all? But guys, seriously, we've done a lot of videos this season, this quarter, and it's been a beautiful journey to walk in. So thank you so much for being active participants of this show. And I want to say thank you for getting us to 1.45 million subscribers, okay? I don't take that for granted. And I want to say thank you to everyone that has stood with us. The battles have been fought. The prayers have been prayed. And you guys have come through. So we really do appreciate you. I want to also take this moment to thank our amazing partners at Hekalu. I know you are not just maybe watching this as a parent, you're also watching this as someone who might want to invest in a piece of land. This is a reminder, our beautiful people at Hekalu, we just launched our 3rd project together in Konza City, okay? Next to Konza Technopolis, all right? And that property is beautiful, as you can see on your screen. It is beautiful. So if you're looking into investing in a piece of land, talk to our people at Hekalu. Let them show you that Konza City property that they have. There is water. The roads are well marked. There is also, well demarcated. There is also electricity. There is also a fence. And I can vouch for Alfred and his family. They are incredible people. So get yourself a piece of land with Hekalu. It goes a long way. And thank you for trusting us with our 1st project, the 2nd project, and now this is our 3rd project. Road to our 4th project is coming. But in the meantime, check out that 3rd project. All right? And also thank you for supporting independent journalism by subscribing, contributing to our M-Pesa number. That has also been amazing. And also by also sharing our work across social media platforms. So that's it from me today. All right? I hope I see you guys tomorrow. And may you please have a peaceful December. It's been quite the year. And I'm wishing peace on each and every one of you. All right? Peace.